we are going to be reacting to a Kevin Samuels video. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like and subscribe.
You were unmuted. I think you muted yourself. Hello.
How you doing, sir?
I'm well. Good. Judah, you next. How old are you?
28.
Okay. What do you got for me?
Just generally when it comes to relationships and dating, partnership and someone who is able to start off as a friend when it comes to getting to know one another is something that I'm seeking first, because I'm more so interested in the business aspect of my life right now. So
You're interested in the business aspect of your life?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. What does that mean though?
Just because that means that I'm focused on evolving what I'm doing with my businesses, with my brand, with my day-to-day.
Okay. Do you have any children?
No.
Do you want to be married?
I've been married and I would like to be married again.
Okay. We're not your friend.
Okay.
I mean, that's just not our job.
Okay.
When you have children, are you going to be their friend? Are you going to be their mother?
The mother.
I'm going to be both.
No,
you can't.
See, that's that new age bullshit.
I mean, realistically, you can't, right? You could be a very caring mother. You could be a mother that listens. And you could have traits that you would get from a friend, someone who's there, someone who listens, but that's just called being a mother or a parent. To be someone's friend is a complete different story. So yeah, I could get what she's trying to say, but you can't actually be their friend. You have to be their mother.
Be their mother. Their friends are their friends. Why do you want to be both?
To support everything that they want to do with their lives.
You're not supposed to support everything. You're supposed to guide them.
That's going to come with being a mother.
Right, not a friend.
I can balance both.
No, you can't.
Okay.
Was your father in your life?
Yes.
Your mother and father married?
Yes.
Was your father your friend?
Yes.
All right, let's go down that path then. What age did you lose your virginity?
18.
Did you tell your daddy?
Yes.
Did you tell him before you did it or after? I mean, not after. And did you tell him?
First of all, she's lying. This is not true. Trust me.
Night you did?
I wasn't around him. He kicked me out when I was 17. So.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound like a friend.
It is a friend, though.
No, it's not.
Well, I learned from that, though.
You could learn from getting bit by a snake. That don't make it your friend. See, words mean things, and that's why I'm being direct. You think you know something that you don't know, and I'm trying to tell you you are misperceiving things.
Okay. I'm listening.
Your father's not your friend. Your father's your father. Your mother's your mother. Your friends are your friends. Trust me, my grandmother was not my mother's friend. She was her mother. And my mother honors her mother today as her mother, not her friend. We don't need our parents to be our friends. We need them to be our parents. We need our friends to be our friends. You don't need to be sitting down talking to your dad. You can have a cordial relationship, an open relationship. I'd have one with my child, but I'm not her friend.
Okay. I can see how that word can be very
Yeah, and that's why I said we need to take it out, because your husband is your husband.
What about the word partner?
He's not your partner. You're his wife. Where's partner? Okay. Partners in a business. Who leads in the marriage?
I would give that to my husband.
You wouldn't give it. That's what it should be.
Yeah. Like she's relinquishing that power. Yeah, you do it here. I'm letting you. Not letting anybody do anything.
In the United States, are the president and the vice president partners?
I may have misunderstood that. I thought they were, but I would
No,
like to
they're
know
not.
why they're not.
No, they're not. They're not. What does the vice president do? Nothing. He's the president of the Senate. The vice president does literally nothing unless the president dies.
Okay.
Nothing. See, we have deified the word partner and we have deified the word friend, but when we do that, we minimize the word husband. Husband is a title that should be imbued with respect, honor, admiration, dignity. But when you mix it with friend and partner, you have a business partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a business husband? No.
That makes sense.
Thank you. Now the
So I
business
shouldn't be seeking partnership within a marriage at all.
you should be seeking leadership. You should be seeking cooperation, but not partnership. You're not seeking partnership with your children, are you?
No, I want to set them up for success, but I wouldn't have
But
to
that's
partner
not
with them.
partnership, that's leadership. See, your husband is supposed to do what he's supposed to do, and that sometimes you may not like him for doing that. But it still needs to be done. I don't mean that you can't be affable and communicative with your man, but that's not a friend. We're not your friends. We're not you. That's the problem. Y'all think we're you and we're not you.
So we can't have conversations about business together. That's what, because I wanted, so basically make me understand why it's wrong that I wanted someone to partner with in
What
business,
kind of business are you
but
talking
set
about? What
aside
kind of
our
what kind of what
marriage
kind of
to
business are you
separate
talking?
those two
What kind of
things.
hold on, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
What kind of business are we talking about?
I write, so writing, music, the arts, publishing.
Okay. What kind of business you write songs for who?
Right now, I'm just establishing, but I'm an artist myself, so I write music right now, and I write books, and I write stories for different
So
people.
what I need to understand is how can somebody help you write a song or a book?
Not even that. She doesn't even have all of it together. She wants to come up with this plan and has like this imagination where her husband is just going to come in, put his hand on her shoulder and just help her write songs. And they're going to live a fairy tale lifestyle. Come on.
It's complicated. I'm thinking of it on a more interpersonal level.
No, you're
So
thinking it on a creative girl hippie level, and that's not what it is. That's why
what's a creative
artists.
girl
That's why
hippie level?
creatives are most difficult people to marry because you guys are overly in your feelings and not in the practical.
Mm. So I need to separate that entirely then.
Yes,
Okay. I can
because
accept that.
what is your responsibility? Okay, your business, your job, your this, your that. You're his wife. What comes first, your business or his or him?
My marriage.
Okay, easier said than done. And that's part of the issue. You let in saying I want somebody to be a partner and I'm focusing on my business and this and that.
Well, I was holding up as much as I could, but
You were doing what?
I guess I need to learn. I need to learn more of the roles of both husband and wife
Your mother and
from
father are
my
married,
experience.
right?
Yes, but I learned but so much from them. There's a
Why?
certain amount that I learned, and then I
Well,
learned
you're in
things
your
from my own
masculine.
marriage.
I'll tell you that you're in your masculine energy. Like I'll tell you that for sure.
I can actually agree with you. I understand it about
So I
myself.
mean, so you need to understand what essence of wife is. What is essence? What is a wife's role?
I'm the nurturer,
Nope. It's a mother's role, a wife role.
the supporter,
She's a helpmeet,
help me.
helpmate.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And you want somebody to partner and help you. You want a wife.
Mm.
Yeah. Get a liquor license. You
So
going to bartender? I mean, you going to get a platonic relationship
I
with
was a
compound
bartender
living?
before.
I don't think you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking bartender is a creative way of me saying something else over here.
But I have been trying to do more of the feminine role. So I've allowed myself to date older men and let them take me out and show me different than what I've been experiencing. So I understand.
Men can't show you how to be feminine.
I mean, they let me be. That's what I mean by that. Because dating men who don't stand in their masculine
No,
role makes it hard for
no.
women to
Well,
be
no,
feminine too.
no, 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 no. Absolutely not. More modern psychobabble bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Feminine is what you are. You don't turn it on or off. And it's like, I wish
But you said I was masculine.
you're masculine because you're masculine. Just because you have a man that can to put you in your place doesn't make you feminine. You just know you need to shut up. But you're still masculine when you're quiet listening to an older man. You're still masculine.
So women have to shut up to men.
No, you have to shut up because you are masculine. I'm talking to this woman. You're in your masculine, and this is why you need to be around women, but you probably repulse women because you're overly masculine.
I can believe
So
that.
you're a woman without a country. You can't talk to, you say I'm trying to get you to understand what your mother and father did, but you say your daddy kicked you out. So you seem as someone who's strong-willed, stubborn, and has a single-minded. That's what I'm getting from you. And don't nobody want to be around that.
Yeah, I am alone all the time, so you were correct.
Well, that's what you should be. Don't no man want to be around that. Men, the number one thing men want from a woman is what?
They butt kiss.
What? Cooperation. That's it. Well, I mean, that's not it, but that's one of the main things. Are you grounded enough to sit there and get along with? This woman said they're butt kissed. Like men just want to be pampered. Some of these women are just so far removed from reality and how the world really works.
I want you guys to understand what she just said.
Yep. Take it in, guys. Listen to what she just said. All right, let's go.
She thinks a man wants they butt kissed. That's what she thinks.
The way you're
that's what she
though.
thinks of you. Like that's what she thinks of you, gentlemen.
You're not really explaining anything to my question.
I'm asking you a question, and I'm just repeating your answer. I said, "What's the number one thing that men want from a man wants from a woman?" You said they butt kiss. There's nothing to explain. That is a negative connotation. There's no way to make that positive.
You said I'm masculine?
Ma'am, you've said you said who you are, and I'm just repeating it so you'll hear it. Don't get defensive because you said something that's revealing who you are. They butt kissed. How is that positive?
Because you said you don't. I'm not supposed to.
How is that
positive? I'm not supposed to support them. I can't partner with them. I can't be their
kissing
friend.
Somebody's butt.
I need to be their helpmate.
Excuse me. Kissing somebody's butt is positive.
I mean, it is if you're being their helpmate.
So if you have employees and if you have employees at your business and they're doing their job, they're kissing your butt.
No, because they're going to get
paid. Thank you.
I'm not going to just have them working for me.
Thank you. Don't try to get smart. Think about what you're saying. What you're saying is now here comes the defensiveness. Here comes the wall. Instead of really listening, here comes the justification, guys. I'm letting you know what you're about to do.
Okay.
Put your dick up and listen. Coming in saying men want their butt kissed is a negative connotation towards men.
I can agree it is.
Then why say that unless you think of men in a negative light?
That's just how I perceived the thought process of what you're saying. I'm trying to process and understand what you're saying.
No, man. Well, I'm asking you what you. No. I'm asking you. Don't put. You can't make that. I won't own that. Their butt kiss. I said, what is the number one thing men want from women? And you basically let everyone know how you think of men. Are men positive?
Okay, so I'm gonna take my answer back. Then they want love.
No.
And affection.
No.
They don't want love and affection either.
That's not the number one thing we want.
Don't know what men want.
They want cooperation.
Okay.
Cooperation.
That makes sense. I'm gonna take that down.
And when you say have your butt kissed, meaning somebody cooperating is somebody in a negative and a not positive role. That is a horrible way to look at a quote unquote friendship, quote unquote partnership, or a marriage.
Is cooperation mutual, right? Or is that just the woman has to be submissive to him wanting her to
You
cooperate
don't
with
have to
him?
do anything at all, ma'am. You can stay alone.
Oh, okay. So that's what that means. So all
No,
men
that's
think
not
like
what it
that.
means. But what I'm saying is,
So all
with
men
you,
think like that.
ma'am, what you need to understand is, have you had therapy?
I have. I'm still going through therapy.
Okay, you need to stay in because to you every
I
answer with
will.
you is everything you're saying is a zero sum game with hostility behind it, and there's no need for it.
So how did you feel about when you had got divorced? Like, how did you feel
Man, it's
about the
not about this. Isn't
cooperation?
What?
about this. Is not about me.
What happened with the cooperation? Like,
So this is not.
how
This is not
could
about.
she
This
have
is not about
cooperated
me.
more?
See now, you're not going to change. This is not about me. This
I
is
just want to
about
know how I can
you.
cooperate. How can I cooperate
Well,
then?
you can't.
Wait. Hold on. You're just being snarky now because she's sitting here saying, "Well, what about your divorce?" Like I'm trying to see how I could cooperate. That has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. But you could easily tell she's just coming and trying to be snarky. Again, just because she has a feminine voice does not mean, that she's not masculine. She's definitely masculine. Combative. Wants to always one up someone. Wants a partnership. Oh man.
Can't
In a
cooperate with
relationship?
anybody. You can't cooperate with anybody because you're not with anybody right now.
Yeah, true.
So why are you asking me this? This is just another way
Because
to
we're
try to.
talking about
You're just trying to redirect around me, and you need to learn how to be quiet. I told you guys what was about to happen. There you go, the modern woman, folks.
Yeah, she had to go. This was crazy. Simply crazy.
Bull ring bonnet enabled. Bull ring bonnet enabled, and then got mad because she was showing who she was. Now imagine being on a date with her. Imagine being out with her. And you're just talking to her, and she can't check her attitude enough. She can't verbally jab with you, judo with you. So eventually she's going to become a bitch. That was a bitch. Going to be a bitch about it. See, if a man did that, if a man were to act like that with another man, there would be no words. A man would have to go outside, shoot the fair one. We don't do that with each other. We have to
Yep.
comport ourselves a certain way because with men, we bump up against a violence line, an aggression line. With women today, in general, black women in particular, they are good to overstep the violence line, habitual line steppers. And keep inching. And I told her, you're getting closer and closer and closer. Instead of woosahing and calming down this creative person who wants to zen bonds and everything else, no, she just put the bull ring on maximum. What about you and divorce? Trust me, I'm doing okay. You're the one that's massively alone. Yeah, look at the comment section, having a good time. Tanisha, you calm yourself down, you can come back. Tanisha, you can come on back.
Hey, how
Hello,
you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, so I'm the one who asked about you being married, and I wasn't trying to be condescending when I
But
said
why
that.
is
So,
that important?
I just this is just me and my train of thought. The people who give advice, like you wouldn't want to be physically trained by a fat person, for example. So I just asked the question and just was wondering, but
So so so
I was
so
trying to
you
be
mean
condescending.
that a person who's married would give better advice?
Well, I think a person who was in a marriage where the wife was submitting, or if she was a submissive wife, would give good advice. I'm not saying that
Hold on. How about but he would give good advice for his wife.
right,
That's one person.
right, but at
See the
least he
problem
had
the problem with what you're saying, ma'am, is if
Mhm.
people only spoke about what they were actually doing at that time, no one could speak about anything. Because
No,
hold on, listen, because that
mhm.
train never stops. Because what you're saying is, well, you should be married, and then your wife should be submitting, and then she should be submitting, and you should be working, paying all the bills, and then you should be black, and she should be black, and you should be from Texas, and you should have 3 kids, and you should be Christian. It never stops.
That's very true. One thing about like these stipulations is they will keep dragging it down into the ground or keep nitpicking at every single thing until they can find you in something that is actually wrong. And then when they find you with the one wrong thing, they can say, aha, you know. So this is 1,000% correct.
See, instead, why don't you just judge? Why don't you just judge the information instead of doing what we typically do in the black community and go ad hominem at the person? What
No,
was wrong? No, no, listen,
okay.
because if you knew me, you know I've been married.
Mhm.
I've been over 3 singles ministries at 3 different churches, and I know what I'm talking about. But you
Okay.
put a test on there that makes no difference. I could be married, but
Mhm.
if I was 2 plus 2 is 4, whether I'm married or not.
Okay. But then again, like how she would now, to be clear, I agree with Jeannie. I think a woman should be submissive, but just by the definition of submissive, men have to give women something to submit to. So if
Hold on. Are you
Mhm.
married?
I was married for 8 years before I filed for
Okay.
divorce.
Are you Christian?
I am.
Okay. Still a Christian?
Yeah. Until the day I die.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then this is going to hurt. Men is not supposed to give you something to submit to. You're supposed to submit to God.
First,
No,
and then you.
no, that's who you see. I'm a Christian and I've been over 3 singles ministries. This is black women have some of the most strange interpretations of the Bible.
So
That's
are
why.
you saying
Oh,
does not that we
mm.
should to our
Ma'am,
husbands?
you're not submitting to me. You're submitting to. First off, who are you when you're in marriage? Who are you making? Who are you making the agreement with?
You're making the agreement with God and with your husband.
The covenant is
Well,
with God, though.
correct.
So you're
And
submitting, and you're submitting to what in the man?
you said, what are you submitting to his mission?
No, no,
Submission.
you're submitting to the God in the man.
Okay.
So that's what you're ultimately submitting to because man by nature is flawed. You don't submit to failed flesh. You submit to the spirit of the man, God in the man. See, what you're saying is if you actually were a Christian woman, you would be following God and submitting to the God in your man.
You're going to follow God if you're a
Well, then if
Christian.
that's the case, you said he has to
That's
give you something to submit to, and that's ultimately what you're submitting to.
that's a given. But the
No, it's
man,
not. No, it's not. You're saying he has to give you something to
just like,
submit to. That's
just like
ultimately what you're submitting to.
just like we submit to God, we also submitted to Christ in the flesh, right? So that's who he was. He was a fleshly representation of God.
Hold on.
So
You submitted to Christ in the what? Do you, no, no. I think you're conflating some things. But ultimately, ma'am, you said that man, if a woman needs to submit, a man needs to give her something to submit to. Like what?
correct. I think
Like
that's what.
what?
Well, have a plan for your life first
See,
of all.
again. Now you just went earthly.
How?
Uh, that God does not talk about a plan. Okay.
He
What?
said,
Hold
"Before
on, ma'am. Hold on. What was?
lies, he
Hold
gave
on.
you."
No, you're not going to talk over me. Hold on. What was Eve's charge?
To be his helpmate.
Exactly. That's it. She didn't have to submit to his plan or whatever. She was there to help. That's
He
your
already
hold on, ma'am. That's your role. Your a woman's purpose on the planet is a man, and without a man, you are living uncovered. So I'm sorry, ma'am. You want to keep talking about a woman should have something to submit to. You're supposed to be submitting to the God in the man, not a purpose, not a plan, not anything else. Or else, if that's the case, you shouldn't have married him in the first place.
But God has a purpose. God has a purpose
And
here, and
and who did okay, you're right. He has a purpose. And who does God speak that purpose to? Does he speak it to you or does he speak it to the head?
he speaks it to the head.
Then exactly. So
Supposed
you're
to help.
supposed to follow the head.
I'm supposed to help him. Yeah, I agree.
So
Oh, yo, Kevin is Bible thumping right now. And this is why it is always good that he dabbled in a little bit of everything in terms of knowledge. Because look, Someone that doesn't know what they're talking about is going to be completely lost in this conversation. But Kevin is like, no, you don't want a Bible thump here. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
You don't need to know the purpose. He does.
Okay,
Adam
but
did not have to share that with Eve. All he had to do was know which way to go.
but he had it. He had it. And a
And
lot of
who's
times,
okay? And the thing is, your presumption is that then if he had it, then she should submit.
right. And so you have to, as a woman, and you asked the question earlier, why are Black women, I guess the word was scarred to the point to where we don't want, well, some of us don't want to submit. Well, it's what we have tried to submit to up until this point. And we've submitted to abuse.
Hold on. No. I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you
What?
do that on my channel.
Really? Wow. Wow. That's what they submitted to? Okay.
No,
Okay.
because on my channel we talk about facts. You're gonna talk about abuse. I'm sorry. The facts, the data, statistics are in. You ladies talk about abuse like it's running rampant, and I'm sorry, the numbers just don't support.
I'm not talking about only physical abuse. I'm
Well,
talking about
you want to talk this stuff about mental abuse? I'm sorry, we can go the other way, ma'am. But how about this, man? You're a Christian woman. You filed for divorce. Why?
I filed for divorce 15 years ago when I didn't have a complete understanding of marriage.
Why?
I saved, in that instance, he couldn't keep a job.
Why? Okay. He
He
couldn't
was
keep. He was flipping.
providing. He was not providing for the household. I was for the, so since we're talking about who take on the masculine
All right,
role,
ma'am. Hold on. Do you have any children?
one by him.
Right. So he wouldn't keep a job, meaning that once y'all got married, he quit working, or he kept
We were
losing jobs.
no, he wouldn't lose them. He would just leave and go to other jobs that he thought would be better, but they
Uh-huh.
turned out.
Okay.
In 10
All
years,
right.
we were
All right.
at
And
50.
then where'd you go out? Okay. So hold on. And
Mhm.
so after you divorced him, where'd the child go?
He's with me.
All right. And did he have to pay child support?
Nope, I did not file.
All right. So where does the child have a relationship with his father?
Not a strong one, but yes, they
All right.
speak.
So and is your ex homeless?
I don't know.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't.
All right.
My son,
All right. So, woo. Uh, see, here's the thing. I listen to a lot of women, and I will tell you, as after sitting in ministry after ministry after ministry, I will tell you one thing. One thing I've noticed about most of our women, you pick poorly, and then you're shocked with the outcome.
at 24, most of us pick poorly.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but where's your father?
My father's in California,
And where's your mother?
in Georgia.
All right. Why was your father not there to help you pick a husband?
My father was an alcoholic
Why was your father your father?
because my mother chose him.
Exactly. Pick
Okay.
poorly and then blame the product.
So what does that have to do with me?
Well, I said women pick poorly and blame the product. And you said at 24, I didn't have anybody to help me. And I said, where's your father?
Right.
Hold on. This is what it has to do with you because you picked poorly. If you had a father worth a damn, he could have helped you. But your mother picked poorly. And it sounds like
Okay.
you, hold on, ma'am. And it sounds like you picked poorly. I'm not
I did.
judging you. Hold on. I'm
I,
not
I
judging you. Why haven't you remarried then?
actually, to be honest with you, I enjoy being single.
I
I make
bet you
six.
do.
I do. I enjoy being single. I
You
make six
better enjoy it because I don't think
I want.
anybody else will want to put up with this. Because see, the energy you're coming at this thing, ma'am. Look,
I have suitors, but I
you can have
enjoy being.
ladies. You can have suitors all you want to, but that shit runs out after about 50. You can have suitors all you want to. Bottom line is this: you came in and said, "Well, why isn't Kevin not married?" Kevin has been married. Kevin knows what he's talking about. That's why people
Okay.
come to my show. People don't come here because I don't know what I'm talking about. But what it does show is that, ma'am, you don't seem to understand what I'm talking about or what this means because you're by yourself. You have a son?
I do.
Oh my God. So, well, What do you think the prospects are going to be like for him?
As far as the women that he chooses,
Sure.
I think the prospects are going to be very good
Really?
because I do,
Okay.
honestly.
Okay. So how old is he?
He's 10.
10. So I did a show last night asking if competitive, successful, or high value black men should marry out. And to the woman on the panel last night, black mothers of black sons were saying, yeah, because the young ladies today are pretty bad off. You think the prospects are good for your son right now with broken family after broken family? Because to bring us up to speed, your mother married a man who had a problem with alcohol. You married, and that was a broken family, and she had to raise you by herself. You married a man.
Well, she got remarried after my father.
Okay.
But okay.
All right. Well, still, you married a man who couldn't keep a job and have another broken family. So this will be the second or third generation, and you're raising a boy without a male role model and a dominant mother. Dominant mothers tend to make weak boys.
Well, he's not weak. He's very assertive.
Okay, you're right. Okay, where's this? And the male influence is where?
Well, she just has a perfect life.
Throughout my church, mentor.
Jesus Christmas. This lady is off her rocker. She is lost. Trust me, she think God in her has this figured out. You don't.
Mentorship programs. It's not like there's no male influence, like there's no testosterone around him and he's just dripping estrogen.
Yeah, the black men have left the church in mass, ma'am.
Right.
So,
haven't left mentorship program.
Okay. All right. So I would tell you this. From what I'm hearing from his mother, you sound very domineering.
No, I just sound like I know what I'm talking
about. No, you can say that. You can sound just, yeah, you do. You're right. I don't know what I'm talking about. You sound just like.
No, I didn't
you're right.
You
You're right, ma'am. And the thing is, I got no dog in this fight, but I would tell you, you sound just like the energy is coming across, just like Lonnie Love, just like many women who have women who have poor relationships, poor relationship outcomes with men.
But you're so combative, and you don't want to.
I'm not combative, man. I'm not combative. I'm just direct, and that's one thing women like you can't deal with. You're used to being in the driver's seat, and I won't allow you to drive. I'm driving this. That's not combative, ma'am.
Street, but it seems to be one way.
No, there's a right way. So, I hope the best for that young man.
Seriously.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
32. All right, Tiffany, why do you think I hate black women?
Okay, so I don't feel like you specifically hate black women. I feel like you don't like women in general. Not necessarily like just black women specifically, like because I've been watching it. So I've watched you for a while now.
What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't like women in general.
I mean, like as far as you don't like us as the way I always tell my husband that I don't like you personally because you're an asshole. And
you don't know me personally, so you can't say that.
Okay, well, I don't like you as a person.
You don't know me as a person. You don't know me as a person, ma'am. All you know me is from a YouTube channel.
That is true, right? Like most people that see Kevin Samuels don't really know him as a person or knew him as a person. They're just pretty much going off of takes that someone has online and then just wrap it all up and say, all right, well, I don't like this person. That's all it really is.
Yes, correct.
But I need you to get back to why I don't like women, why I don't like half the population.
Because I feel like the way you speak to women is very assholish. And it's not like you...
Assholish meaning direct?
You could be direct and not be an ass.
Okay, well, you haven't substantiated what asshole is.
The way you speak, like, okay, so for instance...
Let me ask you a question, Tiffany.
Yes.
How often let me ask you several questions. How long have you watched my program?
For about almost a year now.
A year. Okay, so Every woman that comes on the show, when I engage them on the call, I immediately go to being an asshole, as you would say.
Not immediately, no.
Okay, no, not immediately. Then what precipitates that event, Tiffany?
If you don't like something, it's automatic asshole.
No, ma'am, it's not. There have been plenty of people who, excuse me, ma'am. There's a video up right now with a 37-year-old black woman from Jamaica where I talked to her for an hour, and there was no asshole. And I didn't like several of the things she was saying. There's plenty of videos up there, ma'am. You're outright wrong. What precipitates that is usually when someone gives me an attitude. I reflect back what's at them.
I mean, but you can handle it differently.
Ma'am, I handled it the way I handled. No, ma'am. So you want me to take bad treatment, disrespect, and handle it? Excuse me. Let me finish. I'm the coach, the consultant, and what I do is effective. I mirror back what someone's giving me so they can see themselves and make a correction. Let me ask you a question. What are you? Do you work?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What's your profession?
I'm in the medical field. I'm a nurse.
All right. Have you ever worked any time in the ER?
Yes, I was on the EMT.
Okay, great. So when somebody comes in critical condition, do you have time to worry about each other's feelings, or you got to get shit done to save somebody's life?
You have to save the life.
Somebody could easily say that nurse Tiffany's a bitch, but I bet you that the person in whose life you save says thank you.
That's true.
I mean, yes, of
no,
course.
No, man. Okay.
Ain't no yes, but this is so funny, right? Yes, but no, you don't see, if people are in EMT, they don't sit there and just coddle each other. They yell at each other. They give instructions. There's no time for coddling. They have to get the work done. But of course, in situations like that, they don't look at it as the same.
Okay. So I'm at work, and depending upon the level of trauma and the triage necessary, I may need to go stop the bleeding before we get to the bedside manner. How come you can do that in your job and I can't do it in my job? Why does that make me an asshole, but you a professional?
Because I don't talk to people. Even if you're in trauma, I still can't talk to a trauma victim.
Who said you're talking to a trauma? The person in the trauma don't hear you, but the people you work with. You mean the people you talk?
Even the people
okay,
that
ma'am. First off, ma'am, I'm not a therapist. I'm not here for your feelings. I'm a coach and a consultant. Understand that.
I understand.
And understand, if you don't like it, then turn the channel. But here's the thing. I am not a woman, and I'm not going to speak to women like a woman. Does your husband watch the show as well?
Yes.
Is he an asshole?
He's been watching it for longer.
Is he an asshole as well?
Yeah, I'd say he is too.
What?
Uh-huh. So why don't you divorce him?
I will.
Wow.
That's funny.
Wow.
I thought it was a joke, but
no. I really wasn't. I don't play with breaking up families. But see, if you could be married to an asshole, assholes get shit done. Pussies don't.
Not necessarily, but
lady, I'm not going to debate with you. Bottom line is, you may not like my delivery, but it does not start with me. It starts when I get it. And I oftentimes say, look, rein it back in, do such and so forth. I am not going to allow someone to be rude to me, dismissive to me, and just take it and say, well, let me coax you down, especially if I'm not getting quote unquote paid from this person. If they want my bedside manner, they can book a session. Basically, you're the tone police, man.
Well, so if the person was to book a session and pay for it and then give you the same attitude,
that's none of your business. That's none of your business.
Nice.
What I do in a private session is not your business. Ma'am, you're the tone police.
I was just asking.
And what you see here is what happens there. I'm a coach where I am. But let me ask you, ma'am, the people I'm talking to, typically black people, black women in particular, how many black women were married? What percentage of black women were married in their lifetime?
What percentage were married in their lifetime?
Will marry. What percentage of black women can expect to marry? Out of 100%, what percentage?
It's a low percentage.
How low?
Probably about 20.
26. 1 out of 4. That means 3 out of 4 will never have what you have. If we had
Correct.
a 26%, if we had a 26% chance of survival, and that means across the socioeconomic spectrum. If you had a patient that had a 26% chance of survival, are you going to go in with moderate treatment or are you going to go in with aggressive?
Aggressive treatment.
Thank you. I'd rather them survive. And I would hope as a medical professional, you could you could at least understand it, especially somebody who's in the ER. Don't come to a coach or a consultant when we're in trauma and critical condition asking me to be a tone police or people who are tone deaf. Sadly, many times that's the only way I tend to get through to some of these people, reflecting what they're giving to me so they can hear it. Do you make any allowance for that?
Somewhat.
No,
but I feel like
you don't.
it goes
The
overboard.
answer is no, you don't. I'm just an asshole. I'm just a callous asshole that just does this because I don't like women. That's what makes sense in your world. Even all the examples I've just given you, even if I try to make a bilateral comparison to you, you still want me to be an asshole. Just like you can't make this shit up, people.
And it's crazy because she really sat there before and even made a joke about divorcing her husband. And when she does it in her workplace is fine. But for Kevin doing it in his workplace, it's a problem. Now, and women complain about double standards all the time, right? But they love to live them. They love to live them.
But if I'm an asshole, I'm an asshole. It gets results.
I don't think all the time it does.
It doesn't matter. Do all your patients survive?
No, not all of them.
Why is that a standard? It doesn't happen all the time. Who does? What happens all the time?
They want him to be damn near perfect, making sure that everyone that speaks to him comes out successful on the other end. That's a very unfair standard. That is a very good point.
I mean,
that's not even a valid argument. It's not even a valid argument. Just say, ma'am, I don't like your tone. But you got to understand that your tone ain't always right every day either.
Correct.
All right, ma'am.
But
bottom line, you married to, okay, I'm not going to change my tone. I reflect what's given back to me. And here's the bottom line. If you really want my tone to change, Tiffany, then why don't you do this? Tell the women to come in and act better.
Women come and act better.
No. Why don't you go tell that to them. Because 1 out of 4 women will get married, black women will get married in their lifetime. Something's going amiss. They're not getting the outcomes. And
yes.
And who's talking to women to try to help them get anything else other than a pastor telling them everything gonna be all right, keep praying to Jesus, and keep calling you the Queen Mother Goddess, Coco Moss, Sea Moss Gold. That ain't working. Where's all the conciliatory calling language? Where's that gotten our sisters?
I mean, to the point where we are right now, yes. And
is that a good place?
Is
that a good place? Is that a good place? Is that a good place?
No, it's not.
Is that a good place? Well, on this channel, I got black women coming in and saying that I was going to leave my husband. Now I'm double down and staying with my husband because I watch your videos. I got people talking about how they are married now watching my channel. There are plenty of people who are making engagement videos, relationship videos, talking about because of listening to this, I'm a better mother, wife, sister, daughter, everything else. The woman who just called in before said the week before her mother passed, her mother apologized to her after she watched one of my harshest shows, Winter's Coming. I'll take my asshole because asshole gets shit done.
In a sense.
That's hate? No, ma'am. No. See, this is what I mean. There's no amount of truth. It's always need to be right. No, you're wrong. No, ma'am. Just go to understand there's no amount. They will never give it to you, black man. Facts, figures, data, statistics, results. When you aren't right in their eyes, nothing matters. So keep doing what you're doing. Because if you stop doing what you're doing, then they're going to call you weak. You're wrong, lady. Nobody's listening to you.
And that's going to be the ending of this video. Leave your comments and your opinions in the comment section down below. What did you think about this video? What did you think about this conversation? Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys haven't already, and turn on post notifications so you guys will be alerted when we upload more videos on this channel. Mr. Samuel's link will be in the description down below. Head over there and go support. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.